absolutely right.
What the hell's wrong with you? That's open hand slap, huh?
Old-fashioned slap right to the face. Samoa Joe.
And I'll be hyped to fit.
This match, anything goes!
That is so profane, Dana, and rude.
What a week it's been. So much to talk about.
That's right, there is a ton to talk about on this week's special edition of the Best Pro Wrestling Podcast / Strong Honor. We're going to do a special, extra long, extra huge, extra big, double episode this week. I'm Tommy Stryker, host of the show. Joining me is Joe.
Yeah.
Switching it up, and then there's Taco.
Damn.
Taco,
what up?
Taco's here as
I actually
well.
have something for this occasion because you told us about the news that, we're kind of be soloing the Strong Honor from now on.
Yeah.
So,
Taco's got something out of the bag.
I got something for you because, I thought, Strong Honor, was doing really well and, kind of got canceled. So, I got you the Miz Participation Award. So
he's literally surprising us with this right now. That's going to be hung prominently here in the studio.
So good job, buddy. You tried.
No, we're going to keep carrying on the tradition of Strong Honor, talking Ring of Honor and New Japan. This week we're going to do a double episode of Best Pro Wrestling. So everything that we talked about on Strong Honor, New Japan, Ring of Honor, we're going to talk about that right here. So all in one episode. And then I'm not sure if we're going to continue to do two different episodes throughout the rest of the G1 Climax. Unsure at this point, but you're going to be able to get all of that great info that you got from Strong Honor right here on Best Pro Wrestling Podcast, or some other. I might continue to do Strong Honor on this feed. So if you're new to this show, we got so much to talk about this week because we are going to talk about the G1 Climax. We are going to talk about Ring of Honor TV this week, which was a lot of fun. We're going to get caught up on 2 weeks of Lucha Underground and the Cueto Club.
Lucha.
But we also talk a lot of WWE on here. We're talking NXT. We're talking Raw. And we're talking Battleground. Yes, we will. We try to keep it positive on this show. We try to talk about the things that we like. And
like Global Force.
The good news is, we could get to that. The good news is that if something's not that good, we can kind of skim over it and get to the good stuff and just talk about what's important. Because on a week like this, when there's so much to talk about.
What a week it's been. So much to talk about.
There's no room for dilly-dallying, right?
Yeah.
Since you brought it up, and I just got done talking about how positive this show is, let's talk a little Global Force, shall we? I tuned in to it. It wasn't this week because it was way too busy, but I watched it like 2 weeks ago, I think. Mm-hmm. Not the whole thing, but I kind of skimmed through it, and I was curious because Naomichi Marufuji was on the show. For those of you not familiar with New Japan or last year's G1 Climax, you're scratching your head saying who? Or maybe if you saw this guy on Global Force, you're thinking, oh, that's the guy that jobbed out to Moose.
Moose.
Naomichi Marufuji beat Kazuchika Okada in the G1 Climax last year, had a win over him, which earned him a title opportunity later in the year, which he did. He then lost that title opportunity, but Marufuji had two great, amazing matches with Kazuchika Okada, the new ace of New Japan, last year in the G1 and with a title match. He goes to TNA because of Global Force. Global Force brings him in because of their relationship that they have with Noah now, and I don't want to say jobbed him out, but yeah, fucking Moose beat him. It was that
bummer.
It was that Grand Championship gimmick.
Oh yeah,
so it's like
thing.
3-minute rounds, and even
Change the subject.
We're gonna keep it positive. Let's talk, because the guy, he lost in the third round. It should have went to go to the judges, but then the judging was stupid. It didn't make any sense. Fucking Moose dominated the first round, but one of the judges gives it to Marufuji anyway. It was so ridiculous. I gotta
change the subject.
Bam.
Let's talk some Raw.
Monday Night Raw.
Starting us off strong.
Like I said, we got to keep it positive, right? So let's talk Raw. We had the big announcement right off the bat Monday. It's going to be the Fatal 4-Way at SummerSlam.
Nice.
Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe versus, of course, Lesnar for the Universal title. How excited are you for this at SummerSlam in just a few weeks?
Fuck yeah. I mean, it's everything we've been liking about Raw so far and fucking one big match. So fucking let's tear it up and see what's going on.
Yeah, I'm super pumped for the actual match. I'm just a little disappointed that they could have rolled around these four competitors and kept us, busy for a little while. I think it's kind of, SummerSlam, they want it to be as huge as WrestleMania, but I just don't think the 4-way was necessary. Does that make sense?
I'm intrigued by it, but I agree. A one-on-one matchup, generally speaking, is more interesting. But I love this dynamic because we haven't seen Brock Lesnar in too many of these multi-man matches. And I think we got to go back to Royal Rumble.
With Shield, essentially.
Yeah, it was Rollins and was it Ambrose in there, too? So
and that was a hell of a fucking match, too.
Right. So you got to go back to that. So I like this as just a style difference altogether for something that it's not going to be just Lesnar taking a guy to Suplex City again. Mm-hmm. So I like that. It'll be a little bit different.
Too, that Samoa Joe's been kind of like on like radio shows and different podcasts, and he's been saying that, like since day one, he was only pictured for the NXT, picture, and finally did get to go to the, Raw, and here he is fucking main eventing SummerSlam in a sense. So that's, that's just another reason why I'm loving this, just to see his fucking journey. And he's so open about it too.
Yeah, talk about a guy who grabbed the brass ring and he's running with it. He's doing so good.
I love that he's so open too about this. He's even been talking about like how Lesnar doesn't plan for these matches, and he's like, I love that. I embrace it. That's why they're fucking shit sticking out way more than anybody's been sticking out in a title picture. It's just because they're so fucking just raw dogging it.
It's raw. It looks like a fight. It looks like a battle, and so that's what's cool. And that dynamic in a 4-way is just it's insane. So,
throwing Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns. Two people have been beating shit out of each other for months.
Exactly. All right, let's talk. We got Finn Balor versus Elias Sampson. This time, a no DQ match.
This match, anything goes.
It was Sampson getting the win after what's his name, Bray Wyatt came out and
Clinton Dix.
Yeah, he attacked Finn with the sister Abigail and whatnot, and the crazy back bridge and all that. So Balor looks like he's moving on to the Wyatt feud for SummerSlam. Where are you at on this feud? How do you feel about these two going at it, possibly at SummerSlam, maybe just on TV, but it's looking like it's headed for something like that?
I'm being cautious, but it could be good. We're eventually going to see the Demon, Finn show up probably at SummerSlam for this bout. But other than that, I got to see something. I've got to see something first because I've been burned before, Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt. But
it's the Bray Wyatt problem,
It really is.
It's the right guy for it, though. Just that kind of stuff with Randy Orton's silly. I think of him as the legend killer, punching people in the fucking head, flipping out, being hardcore, not fucking LED worms in the middle of the ring. It's just...
And that's precisely why I groaned when Joe brought up the Demon, because I feel like the Demon should be brought out for something big and special, and I don't feel like
Bray Wyatt.
A mid-card TV feud for nothing on the line with Bray Wyatt is Demon-worthy, but I fear that that's probably the way they're going, and we haven't seen the Demon since last year's SummerSlam. So I guess if you're just looking at it from a time perspective, I guess it's okay to bring him out again. But anyway,
I don't know. He'll get his due time. It's just look at it's a fatal 4-way now. They weren't even it's just everything's shooken up right now. Samoa Joe wasn't even in that picture right now. So it's just, I'm for it. Let's bring it. I like this whole. Good for fucking Elias Sampson, man. He's been looking great in this feud, though. Most people would fucking, you'd just think a couple months ago, you'd think Elias Sampson and Finn Balor. You're like, they're not going to be each other. It'd be a fucking one-night job or squash match. No, it's been a good little fucking feud.
And now we have Sampson with a big win in that no DQ match. So what's next for Elias Sampson?
And just listen to the fucking boos. Please put your cell phones away. I love that. I love that shit, man.
Yeah, he's getting the heat for sure. I really enjoyed the little Emma segment where how do I get noticed? What do I got to do? Start dating Jason Jordan? Angle puts her in the Nia Jax match. Nia Jax does a big flip onto her and murders her. Why are we burying Emma here? What the hell happened? Is WWE and Vince McMahon still upset over the Emmalina thing? Come on, Emma started the women's evolution, for crying out loud.
It's disappointing. Again, like we've talked up Emma week after week. Again, we were excited to see that she was even going to be coming back on TV, and then just week after week, they just didn't give her the shot. She wasn't willing to work with the character, whatever it may have been. It's just a disappointment.
Boring. I like Emma. She's good in the ring. Not great. Name a match that sticks out in your head. Exactly.
Not since NXT. Yeah, she had some good ones at NXT.
Her whole gimmick kind of, I don't know, it's just like everyone's just surpassing her, and unfortunately her injury just took her away from it, and she's going to have to claw harder. She's going to have to fucking job to the fucking Nia Jaxes right now, you know. As long as she keeps her head up and keeps at it, yeah, we'll fucking see her in the picture, but, you know, at least she's getting Raw time. We have fucking Mickie James, who has a cup of, you know, coffee on Raw.
Yeah, there's that. Speaking of the women, Bayley versus Sasha Banks for the number one contendership for the women's title at for the shot of Alexa Bliss at SummerSlam. Good match. Not the best I've seen from these two, but not to be negative. Yeah, the quick roll up on Sasha Banks, the most devastating move in professional wrestling. The roll up after the big frog splash and a face buster from Sasha Banks. The roll through into the roll up. I like Alexa Bliss talking about how these two are going to tear each other up and it's going to ruin their friendship. I like the little promo between Bayley and Sasha Banks, where, you know, Sasha Banks acting the boss, acting confident, saying, you know, Bayley's like, may the best woman win, and Sasha's like, yeah, the best woman will win. So I like the little cockiness, the not quite heelish, but, you know, it gives you, okay, I'm kind of rooting for Bayley in the situation, you know, on as far as the storyline goes. So I liked all of that, and yeah, a good match, the surprise win, and it'll be Bayley and Alexa again at SummerSlam. What do you think about these two going at it again at SummerSlam?
I think it's perfect. They work well off of each other with her being that perfect baby face. Her character, it works well with Alexa Bliss's because she's such a bitch. She goes after every little thing that Bayley does. Her hair, her attitude, even the way she wrestles. So they work well off each other.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree. I'm loving everything Alexa Bliss is doing, and, you know, as long as they don't give us the pity poor me Bayley, you know, we gotta see this little more aggressive side now. You know, what we didn't see at Extreme Rules.
So what did you guys think about Jason Jordan's premiere, his debut for Monday Night Raw in the ring versus Kurt Hawkins? They did the interview segments, talked about how Kurt Angle was his hero, and it was like a dream come true having finding out that my hero is my father. So all of that, we had the match with Kurt Hawkins. He wins with that belly-to-belly RKO cutter thing. Interesting new move for Jason Jordan. What did you think?
Yeah, you know,
I mean, it was what it was.
It was just showing off the new toy on Raw.
You know, we've seen a lot of what he's done already, but I'm not going to get too up in arms about a match with Kurt Hawkins.
Right on. Anderson and Gallows versus The Revival. This was a fun little deal they had there. I like The Revival coming out saying they've taken everybody out. That, you know, they've the Hardys they've chased away the New Day. You know, they're the top guys or whatever. And I love Anderson and Gallows coming out calling them nerds. You know, saying you're not the. You're not the top guys, you're the top nerds. We had the match, which was a lot of fun. Revival do get the win with Shatter Machine after an odd Hardys distraction that felt unnecessary. Then the Hardys come out and beat up on the Revival after the match. But a fun little storyline between all three of these teams here. Cesaro and Sheamus are looking on in the back. For some reason, they're wearing their kilts anyway, just to watch TV. But talk about the tag teams.
Yeah, I don't know. It's still a big question mark what's going to happen to SummerSlam, so that's pretty fucking awesome.
And I just hate that the club has technically been jobbing to a lot of them. Not even jobbing. They've been putting on good matches, but when's the last time they've gotten a good solid win?
Yeah, it's been a while for those guys, definitely.
They're building up Revival now, though. They got lots of time to make up.
They did tease that next week we are going to get the big three-way between Strowman, Roman Reigns, and Samoa Joe. forgot to bring that up when we were talking about that situation. So that'll be an interesting matchup there. And Jason Jordan on Miz TV next week.
Right.
Should be interesting, too. The big main event, Ambrose teaming up with Rollins versus the Miz-Tourage. Ambrose and Rollins get the clean win here. No big deal. Kind of the story here was after the match, and I liked the promo.
The promo, yeah.
Beforehand, where Rollins is like, "Look, we got to worry about 3 guys here," and Ambrose is like, "Well, you got to worry about 3 guys. I got to worry about 4." And then after the match, I love they had the respect, they had the hug, the celebration, but then Rollins holds out the fist, for the Shield thing, and
don't leave me hanging, bro.
He's gonna leave me hanging.
Ambrose just
don't leave me.
Ambrose just wasn't quite ready to go that far yet. So I enjoy this story that they're telling between these 2 guys.
Fuck yeah.
So. Anything else as far as that goes?
Only because I just saw it on the stream, but Braun Strowman chucking that security guard.
Oh, yeah.
He's got no respect. No respect. All right, let's get into Battleground. What happened on SmackDown this week?
The subject.
Yeah.
SmackDown Live.
Players, I'm going to make this a tag team match.
So, full disclosure, I talked about, if you're just watching WWE, it's just another week, right? But for me and Taco, we are both watching the G1 Climax. There were 6 shows this last week. There were one on Saturday and Sunday. Both Saturday and Sunday. I work weekends. I worked a 12-hour day and a 13-hour day. I was watching G1 Climax shows. So when it came time for me to watch Battleground, a lot of that was...
Most of it.
Full disclosure, I did not see much of Battleground as far as the wrestling goes. I saw the finishes. I saw bits of most of the matches. I got an idea of what the matches were about. But I
saw it all, Tommy. You're good.
We're going to defer to Joe and the positivity that he brings to the table because there's so much positive stuff to talk about here as far as Battleground goes.
No.
So it was the New Day defeating the Usos for the tag team titles. I wanted to see the Usos keep it, but the New Day's a really popular group. How do you guys feel about the New Day retaining? It was a fun match. Kofi did that trust fall thing after his big hot tag. The Usos powerbombed Kofi on the floor after the trust fall. That kind of took Kofi out for a while, so it looked like the Usos were going to get the advantage.
This was a non-stop match. The pace of the entire match just kept going and going. There was no breaks.
So, yeah, it was the New Day getting... How do you guys feel about New Day getting the titles here?
I was going to say, I mean, it's smart, publicity-wise, just to put going into SummerSlam especially, but I like what they did with the Usos after the fact. The fact that they didn't even get outside... New Day didn't even get out their entrance, and they were just destroying them.
Right, the Usos attacked New Day on SmackDown. They don't even get to have their championship celebration.
And I think that's the smartest move you can make. You got to keep this feud going because people are loving this feud. People are loving the Usos, and I'm with you. I really wish that Usos would have walked with the titles.
And it smells like they're probably going to bring this back for SummerSlam with the Usos attacking them again. Yeah. So I would not have a problem with that. And this was one match I did watch all the way through because this
is like the only match worth watching.
I texted you guys before I sat down to watch Battleground, and Taco, you were like, "Yeah, man, just fucking Titus that thing all the way through." Except the tag match. That tag match was hot. So let's talk about the match that made Taco turn Battleground off: Shinsuke Nakamura versus Baron Corbin. From what I saw, it seemed like a decent match, Joe, but that finish, the low blow taking the DQ. I mean, we got to talk about it, too. The follow-up from SmackDown today was a pretty damn good follow-up. But talk about the...
Much better follow-up. But the match at the pay-per-view, it was just clunky. It just seemed like they were off the whole time. Like, every move seemed like it was a half step behind or too far ahead. They weren't working well with each other. And there wasn't... Like, tonight... Like we were saying, the aggressiveness, it wasn't there for that match at all. from either of the guys in my mind. The aggressiveness that was shown on SmackDown tonight.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if they almost did it on purpose at the pay-per-view. Just put in a clunker of a match because we're really going to turn it up on SmackDown.
Well, especially right after that hot-ass tag match, too. I mean, you just had such fast pace going on because it was, Xavier Woods and Kofi, so it was just constant fast pace and just fucking just had you lured in, and then this match took you out. Like, I fucking wasn't feeling it. Like Joe said, just felt clunky, just wasn't there. It's just, when Baron Corbin's on, he's on, but most of the times he's fucking boring, man. I hate to say it, and it's just. I'm
people
happy.
are not behind Nakamura 100%.
It's hard. Well, you have him in the ring with like Baron Corbin. I'm cool with that though because I want the dude in there in the ring with these guys to learn the experience. Because unfortunately, I don't want to say unfortunately, but he is the future. It's only he has a ticking time bomb in his hand right now when he's gonna be a champion. If he's gonna be champion,
that's Hiromu Takahashi's gimmick. The ticking time bomb. R.I.P. Daryl, by the way. We'll get to that.
Oh, God.
But how about the... Oh, go ahead.
But, so it's just... To end that, like, I was kind of looking forward to this match. I thought it was going to be a hard-hitting banger, and no, we just kind of banged in the fucking nuts, and it was over, and it's like, really? That's how we're going to be this fucking night?
Well, they made up for it today
on
SmackDown.
They tore it up. That was awesome. That's what I'm saying. It's just, though, when Corbin's on, he's on, but I wish you could do that more often, because you're still a rookie, kid. Like, you got a lot to prove still.
Yep, yeah. And yeah, like I said, the rematch from SmackDown, Nakamura got the win with the Kinshasa, but yeah, the hard strikes back and forth. Nakamura showed up, and it looked like Nakamura, so that was good.
It looked like Nakamura in the ring, and I like that Corbin himself was delivering those fucking knee strikes right back to Nakamura.
Literally just going to bring that up.
That's why I was looking forward to this match on Sunday, because it's like these two, he's a 3-time Golden Glove boxer and shit. Well, let's see it. Let's see his hard hitting. He's in there with the King of Strong Style. Let's do this.
Since we're on the subject of Nakamura, let's kind of shift into what happened on SmackDown with this week with the John Cena situation. Cena challenging Jinder Mahal after Mahal's victory in the Punjabi prison, which we'll get to in a little bit here. But Cena challenging him for SummerSlam. Daniel Bryan coming out and saying, yeah, Cena, you won your match, but Nakamura won a big match tonight. So next week, it's going to be Nakamura versus Cena, #1 contendership. Is this, Taco, going to be like a couple of weeks ago when they honey-dicked us? And I forget what was the match a couple of weeks.
AJ and Cena.
Yeah, exactly. The U.S. Open Challenge. A lot of people on the internet are speculating. This feels like another one of those moments. What do you think?
I really, I don't know. Part of me, we all want Nakamura to win this. It's just, I know, I'm fucking excited for this match. Just, it's just two different worlds, and we know Cena can hang when he has to hang.
I can go either way with this #1 contendership because it would be cool to see Nakamura and Jinder at SummerSlam for the title. Get that damn title off of him. What if Nakamura wins it? Again, you could say the same thing for John Cena and Jinder. What if John Cena wins it? Breaks the record for Ric Flair's title reigns. But do you do that at SummerSlam versus Jinder Mahal, or do you save that for a bigger match, bigger opponent?
I feel the story out of this is Cena, but the story at SummerSlam isn't Cena.
Right.
To me, what's next for Nakamura, I feel like this is what I feel like is going to happen next week. Baron Corbin is going to fucking Pearl Harbor, which is not the greatest expression, by the way. Baron Corbin is going to take out Shinsuke Nakamura, whether it's on his entrance during the match, something else. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's not getting edited.
But yeah, I feel like Corbin's going to get involved again. That's going to upset Daniel Bryan. They're going to make a match between Corbin, Nakamura at SummerSlam for the briefcase. So I think that would be very interesting, and then Cena can either move on to the Jinder thing or whatever, however you get there. But that's kind of because I got the feeling during the match tonight that they were almost. The announcers were almost teasing that idea just a a little bit. So, but that's just a thought of where things might be going for that.
But I hate that. That's one thing I will say. I don't like the briefcase being on the line. I think you win the briefcase, you get the briefcase. You get that whole, I think there was an injury involved and a couple other things backstage, but like the Ken Anderson time, he had the Money in the Bank and he lost it to Edge.
Yep.
I absolutely hated that whole situation.
I completely understand what you're saying because, you earn the briefcase in the ladder match and whatever.
Yeah. I hate him. I hate Baron Corbin.
But they also do it in New Japan, too, with the G1.
Right. And it's something that WWE doesn't do very often either. They have done it before, but it is rare, and so I don't mind that it's a rare thing. And I would not mind Shinsuke Nakamura winning the briefcase.
See, there's also the story to be told, too, of Shinsuke moving on, winning, and then Corbin cashing in on Shinsuke.
Sure, there's that, too. Exactly. There's a lot of different ways this could go here, so interesting stuff. We'll tune in next week to see how it goes.
They're fucking stacking up SmackDown because, God, it's been bad.
Well, that Battleground didn't help.
No.
Because concerns at all. And the number one contendership for the women's title, Natalya won the 5-way. Again, I went through this thing fast. The part of the match I saw all of the eliminations, which felt like it happened in like a minute. It was like, oh, boom, all of a sudden Tamina's gone. All of a sudden Lana is gone. Somebody takes out Becky Lynch. Now we're down to Charlotte and Clinton Dix, of course.
Natalya.
Charlotte and Natalya. Natalya got the win.
That's the part worth watching.
So
is the Charlotte and Natalya, and I mean it's not a whole lot of wrestling, but those two wrestling each other, that was really fun to watch.
But it just felt like so throwaway, having like everybody eliminated in like a minute.
Well, and having Tamina and Lana kind of run town on everyone too is kind of odd.
So, but yeah, it's going to be Natalya versus Naomi at SummerSlam, so that should be a good match.
I like the interaction between them too on SmackDown.
Yeah, that was okay for me. I wasn't big on it, but it was all right.
It was, I don't know. Naomi, not the biggest fan of hers on the mic, but she had good points on there. So I'll give her a due.
All right, let's talk the hot potato U.S. title situation. AJ loses to Kevin Owens at Battleground. Again, I didn't see much of the match. Joe, what did you think of this match?
It was your pretty standard match between these two. They've just been going back and forth. They didn't really pull out anything too special for it. It was solid. That's the best way to describe it.
There was shenanigans involved. Kevin Owens does throw AJ into the ref. AJ goes for the calf crusher, but there's no ref there.
Yeah, it doesn't just throw him. He chucks him straight into the ref.
It was a nice, solid chuck. That was good. There's no ref to see the calf crusher and Kevin Owens potentially tapping out. Kevin Owens gets a crossface. AJ gets a crossface, but then Kevin Owens leans out of the crossface to get the pin on AJ. Then we had the big rematch that turned into a 3-way because it was the big surprise return of Chris Jericho today. So
you just made the list!
We were not expecting that. Chris Jericho's been on tour with Fozzy. It turns out, Joe, you looked up the Fozzy tour schedule.
He's got a little break, He's good till about September 16th.
So he's back for SummerSlam.
Just in time for that payday.
Exactly.
Making that dough.
So how cool was it to see Jericho back, that 3-way main event for the U.S. title? Again, we talked about the hot potatoing. Fucking AJ gets the win, gets the belt.
I love the win.
Right back. So these guys, AJ originally wins it at the house show. Kevin Owens wins it back at Battleground. AJ wins it right back at SmackDown. Now it's going back and forth between two very credible guys, and so I don't mind that. It's just when it's like a Miz involved kind of a cheap win kind of a thing. And yeah, the Kevin Owens thing had the ref stuff involved, but Kevin Owens has that cred too, so I don't mind so much the title moving around here.
No, it's telling a good story, keeping this feud going over, it's keeping value to that strap in a sense.
And it makes other you call them mid-carders, but anybody going for the title, it makes them hungry for it. It gives them something to shoot for. You're going to be working with Kevin Owens and AJ Styles if you're going for the United States title at this point.
Yeah, and after the match, Kevin Owens demands the rematch for the title next week. So next week on SmackDown, whether they deliver or not is another question, but it's a really loaded lineup with Kevin Owens with the rematch for AJ for the U.S. title and the number one contendership with Cena and Clinton Dix. Shinsuke Nakamura and Cena number one contendership next week. So we'll see if we get at least one of those.
They got to be giving us these bangers, though, man. It's just, the G1's nonstop being talked about right now. You got real wrestling going on.
Yeah, it sucks for WWE in the sense that they've got to deal with football, they've got to deal with basketball and baseball. Now they've got New Japan on their ass with a huge month-long tournament.
Here's the thing: is I agree that New Japan is getting a lot of new eyeballs, but I don't think WWE is suffering.
No, it's not
in
like
any
when
way.
TNA was even trying to compete with them in their Monday Night Raw. No, it's not. It's not even like that. But it's just
it's definitely struggling to keep my attention.
You don't want to throw out a shitty product when you know there is something being talked about out there right now.
Right,
it's just, you got heavy hitters in the WWE right now. Utilize them, and fucking next week we're getting that triple threat match on Raw to look forward to. We're getting fucking 2-3 matches to look forward to on SmackDown. Let's jump in the Wayback Machine and go to a podcast 8 months ago. We'd be bitching about these motherfuckers aren't giving us no matches to look forward to.
So yeah, they're
definitely the same shit.
Doing a very good job of giving us,
especially on the road to SummerSlam. Fucking give us these heavy hitters, man, because that's gonna. SummerSlam wasn't looking for hopeful. Now it is.
Cena did beat Rusev in that flag match. Yeah, that was a dumb match. The finish, after stopping Rusev at the last second, he hits the AA off the finish line. That's a set of stairs onto 2 tables, and then plants the American flag to get the victory. Of course, Cena winning that match made him want to challenge Jinder, who did retain in the Punjabi prison match. It was the Singh brothers. It was the great fucking Khali coming out. What did you think of this? The return.
The Singh brothers are the fucking stars of this whole goddamn feud. All right, that motherfucker falling from the top of that fucking thing all the way through the table.
Bollywood boys.
Is that all you had to add, Joe?
Yeah, that's literally it.
Randy Orton, suplexing the Singh brothers on the outside of the ring, in between the prison cells, was great.
He beats them up. Honestly, it was not bad. It was a match you would expect out of them, too.
Yeah, it was a gimmick. It was a big gimmick.
It was just, I don't know if you saw some of the photos from ringside and stuff. They couldn't see shit. So why are these people that are spending hundreds of dollars, $80 a ticket, fucking bringing their kids out, doing this, watching a main event that they can't even fucking see over a superstar that they're like, over. So, it's just like, let's not do the Punjabi prison. You tried one more time. I would say it was one of the better ones. That's for sure.
Orton got bruised and bloodied with the kendo stick and whatnot in the match, so he's showing the battles, the scars of war, as it were. So no Orton on SmackDown on Tuesday, but we did have Mahal looking for the SummerSlam opponent.
Demanding.
We got what we got. Yeah,
I like that he was demanding an opponent though too.
Yeah, at least he's showing some kind of. Just because I can't speak that well doesn't mean I don't deserve a good opponent. That sounds more like John Laurinaitis.
You people power.
Yeah. You people power.
People power.
All right.
Damn. Sorry. We're watching 205 as we do a podcast.
That one really surprised him. That pretty much covers SmackDown and Battleground. We got 2 weeks of Lucha Underground to catch up on.
No Fashion Files this week on SmackDown.
Brutal. And I did, actually, because I went over it so fast, I did not get to see.
Well, they didn't even get their full Fashion Files intro. Basically, it just turned into them. Ascension shows up saying it was them attacking them the whole time, and they point out, well, that's kind of anticlimactic and kind of boring. And then the lights go out and they get attacked, and Fandango's dragged off like horror movie style. The camera's like knocked down on the ground,
Blair Witch style,
and you see him just getting dragged off the camera. So all I know is somebody took Fandango.
That's very scary.
I've heard some skeptics possibly saying Authors of Pain or Sanity.
I mean, that's a possibility, but I like both of those teams down at NXT, especially Authors of Pain
too.
But yeah, I mean, those are certainly possibilities. But I mean, this seems like such a mid-card, undercard
I hope fucking
story.
Ty Dillinger's really like a cannibal, and that's just like I must eat dango to stay alive.
Well, we didn't touch on the Ty Dillinger, Sami Zayn.
We don't
teaming
need
up,
to,
but yeah, so that
It is what it is.
could be a thing there. Let's move on.
It's a good win.
Let's talk some Cueto Cup and Lucha Underground.
Subject.
So again, we are participating in a little contest. We have all filled out brackets, but Joe can't find his because he always loses it.
Oh, I lose everything.
Again, 1 point for the first round predictions.
1 point.
2 points for the second round predictions.
2 points.
And 3, 4, so on and so forth for those. And then the loser gets to buy the beers afterwards. So 2 weeks ago, Lucha Underground. Remember, Marty the Moth is hot and creepy for Melissa Santos. Santos is hot for Phoenix. Famous B is trying to recruit Tejano. So remember those storyline points. Jeremiah Crane versus Taya. A good match, I thought, for an intergender match. Crane did get the win with the double underhook pile driver. Good back and forth. Taya gets the first near fall of the match. The crowd chants, "Wera Loca." And Taya becomes a de facto babyface in the match, despite being part of Worldwide Underground. She's kind of becomes the de facto babyface because it is a woman versus a man here, and they're both kind of heels anyway. Sexy Star comes out and distracts because of the brass knuckle DQ loss the week before, with Taya getting involved with brass knuckles and Sexy's match. Sexy nails Taya with the brass knuckles after the match. So Jeremiah Crane getting the win there. I got to go into my predictions here. What happened to where did this one go here?
Where we at?
That's a good one. I don't even know. Help me out here, guys.
Jeremiah Crane.
Group C, bottom left.
Group C.
Kill shot won.
Oh
no, Jeremiah Crane won. I lost that one.
Right. Yeah. I also had kill shot. So I had nothing there. So. Yeah. So it's going to be... Anyway, nobody cares about our prize. Aerostar says now that he's out of the tournament, he's putting all of his money on Phoenix. Phoenix says it's unfair to let a time traveler gamble and tells him to be optimistic about Drago.
Fucking time travelers.
Drago coming back away from the reptile tribe or whatever it is.
Yeah, we don't want goddamn dirty time travelers here.
Aerostar says optimism isn't easy for someone who can see the future. Phoenix asks, "Will I win tonight?" And he does not tell him. Then it was Mil Muertes versus Paul London. Mil Muertes gets the win with the flatliner and the lick of death afterwards from Katrina. London avoids Mil early and flexes his bejeweled codpiece. Mil throws London into a table. It corners the announcers when he when Mill throws him into the table, and then London makes a big comeback.
Reaching for the carrot. Really? Well, now holding Cobra Moon hostage with the carrot.
Oh wait, this is the old one.
I cannot believe.
I think I missed an episode of Lucha Underground.
That is the old one here.
Lucha or fucking London and Muertes?
London and Muertes. Yes.
Yeah, I guess. Fuck, I'm way behind.
Let me see if I can find this sound bite here. Nope, that's not it. I thought I had. Let's see.
We are fuck ups.
Let's try this one.
Bro, you know what I felt like right there? I felt like I was at NASCAR. And then
that is the right one. So I'll explain the spot again. So Mill throws Paul London into the announce table. That's kind of cornering the announcers. Then Paul London makes a big comeback with chops and...
Bro, you know what I felt like right there? I felt like I was at NASCAR, and then we were in the corner, and a car crashed into a wall right in front of me. Well, Paul's got your dick trickle right here. A series of kicks.
All of that just for that joke, so thanks a lot, guys.
Worth it.
Totally worth
London
it.
Makes his big comeback, hits 8 super kicks outside. The Rabbit Tribe stops the count, and it was Muertes winning with the flatliner again. So it's going to be Mil Muertes versus Jeremiah Crane in the next round. So at the bar, Famous B's assistant Brenda tells Tejano he's really boring and needs a woman's touch. Tejano reluctantly listens as Famous B spies. So further storyline advancement with Brenda helping get Tejano on the side of Famous B. Then it was Marty the Moth, versus Phoenix. A very dramatic finish here. Marty the Moth feeds Melissa Santos a sandwich from his lunchbox during the introductions. Mariposa assists at ringside, distracting and attacking Phoenix behind the referee. Marty the Moth rips Phoenix mask outside. Melissa Santos stops Mariposa from assisting Marty the Moth with the lunchbox at one point. And then it was Phoenix getting the win with a leverage pin after Santos stops Mariposa. After Marty the Moth attacks Phoenix with the lunchbox and stabs stabs the exposed forehead. Oh,
what?
Yes,
what?
He stabs the exposed forehead of Phoenix because he ripped the mask with a fork from the lunchbox as Mariposa holds Melissa Santos back. So the Marty the Moth with very dastardly deeds there. So then next show, last week's show, it was Phoenix with the win.
Oh.
Phoenix with the win there. So
I got that one.
So yeah,
I might have got that one.
Anyway, hang on here.
My bracket's doing all right.
So last week's episode of Lucha Underground, maybe you watched this one, Taco. On the temple roof, Puma has visions of the past failures. Vampiro says the only way to stop the visions is to win the title. Then the Worldwide Underground is down on the ground and they're walking by. PJ Black happens to see Puma up on the roof and then he just flicks him off like, fuck you. So then it was for the Cueto Cup, another second round match, I believe. Pindar versus Cage. This one, Pindar.
Yeah, I did see this one.
Won with a DQ. Pindar, one of the trio's champions with Cobra Ramon. Cage takes out the ref for trying to get Cage to remove the steel gauntlet from his hand. And that's what causes the disqualification and Pindar moving on. Then it was Dante Fox versus Son of Havoc. Son of Madness attacks Havoc's entrance and punches him with a steel chain. Dario Cueto says you have to fight or forfeit. Dante dives over the post to the floor, a top rope leg drop to the apron. Great athletic offense from Dante Fox. A top rope swanton to the center of the ring, but it was Dante Fox getting the win with the Fox catcher. So Dante moving on. Where is Dante Fox? He will be taking on, I'll get to that one, actually. Mundo introduces PJ Black to Benjamin Cook. He's the new representation for Worldwide Underground. He sees Mundo as a star, but messes up his name. PJ seems skeptical. PJ Black versus Prince Puma. This was a good match. Prince Puma wins with the missile dropkick and the triple flip senton. Puma is more aggressive early. PJ works submissions, great back and forth. These guys are so good that it's unfair. PJ gets a near fall with a wellness policy move. Puma hits the
pussy driver.
Yeah, basically the reverse. It's a reverse Rana for a near fall. A standing top rope Rana for a near fall. It was Puma getting the win, like I said. So it will be Puma versus Dante Fox in the next round. Pindar will take on Phoenix in the next round, and Mil Muertes will take on Jeremiah Crane. We still have to see Mac versus Tejano and Drago versus Pentagon from the second round. So we'll get those matchups this week on Lucha Underground. Finally, in Dario Cueto's office, Cueto tells PJ that Benjamin Cook has been calling him nonstop since he lost just mere minutes ago. PJ Black is going to be taking on Rey Mysterio Jr. for the number one contendership next week.
Cool.
So it's interesting because they've been building up the big match between Rey Mysterio Jr. and Johnny Mundo. So will PJ Black, also part of Worldwide Underground, will he beat Rey Mysterio for the number one contendership? Very interesting matchup to see coming up this week, as well as the Drago Pentagon match and the Mac versus Tejano match.
Good stuff.
Yeah! So much fucking wrestling.
It just keeps going. Now it's time for the good stuff.
Yeah, can't stop, won't stop.
Let's get into some NXT.
Change the subject.
Did you watch NXT?
Did I? I want to say yes.
Let's just get through it quickly here. Ember Moon defeated Ruby Riott with the Eclipse.
Oh, yeah.
This is a good match.
Very good match. I thought it could have been better. I kept. I wanted this thing to go like 5 minutes more. But again, the first matchup between these two, and the idea was just to get Ember Moon back in the title picture. I think you could come back to this at some point and have a better match. But being that this was just something to get Ember Moon back in that title picture, ultimately I was kind of okay with her getting the match. But yeah, a good match. Mid-card match of the show, Oni Lorcan versus Danny Burch.
Damn!
Very good match. Oni Lorcan gets the win with the single leg crab, and after the match, Danny Burch is like, let's do it one more time, and I'm like, give me more, please!
Right?
This was so good. So
it's good seeing Oni get a win, too. He deserves it.
Yes, definitely. In the main event, Drew McIntyre versus Killian Dane for the number one contenderships for the NXT title to go on to face Bobby Roode at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Both men undefeated going into this match. It was Drew McIntyre getting the win with 2 Claymore kicks, plotting big man style, but good near falls. Dane hits a second rope fisherman's. Drew hits a future shock DDT late for a 1 count, but a good match. I liked Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch better, but I like McIntyre getting the win here. So it'll be McIntyre and Bobby Roode at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn.
Expected.
Going to be fun, too.
All right, let's change the subject.
That's all we got.
Let's get into Ring of Honor this week. This will be quick, too. We got a new Jay Lethal commercial, but it sounded exactly. I heard from you, Taco, that it was going to be a new commercial for the leg brace. So I got my laptop out. I was ready to record the soundbite. It sounded I think he was lip syncing the old commercial because it sounded that much similar. So I didn't get a new soundbite. It's the same old thing.
I heard the "Listen up, wrestling fans," and I was like, I looked up. Holy shit!
Yeah, it's bald Jay Lethal now. So, but I liked. It
was newsworthy.
Oops. Fired up the song again there on accident. But a fun little show here. Let's just talk these two main events here. Well, the Young Bucks and Hangman Page are going to challenge Dalton Castle and the boys for a 6-man tag team title match at some point down the road. That should be pretty cool. We are going to get the Christopher Daniels versus Cody Rhodes in a 2 out of 3 falls match in 2 weeks on Ring of Honor TV. So that should be...
Oh, it's on TV?
Yeah, that's going to be in 2 weeks.
Hot damn!
Next week is the Women of Honor show, and then the week after that is the big 2 out of 3 falls match. But a couple of fun matches on this show. Beer City Bruiser took on Brian Malonis. Malonis was one of these guys that was in the top prospect tournament. But to describe Malonis, I feel like I need to describe the Beer City Bruiser first, because the Beer City Bruiser is just he's a big pile of shit. A big 320-pound pile of shit, right? And he looks like, he's a guy that looks like he needs a shower, looks like he could use a trip to the dentist, that kind of guy. Malonis is bigger than the Beer City Bruiser, but he comes out, he's got some fresh, clean gear, he looks clean.
His titty was about to pop out a few times.
Looks like he's got a nice smile, but he's a bigger guy, but looks much cleaner, much more respectable. So 2 huge guys going at it. It was the Beer City Bruiser getting the win with the huge bullfrog splash off the top rope in a fun, just 2 big hosses running into each other. After the match, Silas and Beer City Bruiser are cutting a promo. It's been 29 days since Lethal has shown his face in Ring of Honor. So they continue on with that whole storyline. Then the main event, Jay White versus Kushida for the TV title. What a fun match here.
Fuck yeah.
I gave it 3.5 stars. I thought very good stuff. Jay White gets a Muda lock at one point in the match. A good back and forth. They do the hoverboard lock while White counters with a suplex, avoids the baseball punch. White hits the deadlift German for a near fall. Just awesome back and forth. It was Kushida getting the win with the Back to the Future after the big top rope hoverboard lock arm drag that he does. So very cool stuff.
Nice. Yeah.
Anything else to add to that?
Nah, it's good. Watch it.
All right.
I like Kushida.
All right. Finally, let's get into the G1 Climax and New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Subject. Broadcasting.
On the menu, Corey Graves, Lita, and Renee Young.
Yeah, we forgot to mention we do have WWE Network on in the background. So now pay attention because this is important. All right, so yeah, we talked about night 1 of the G1 Climax last week. Now we have 5 more nights to talk about.
Yes,
we've got a lot of results to go through. I want to preview next week, go over the standings for this week. We've all got predictions for this too. Nobody gives a fuck about our predictions, but we'll talk about it a little bit here. As far as my predictions go, just since I'm on the subject of it, for the first round, I have, 19 correct predictions. So that's 19 out of 30 matches so far. So for whatever that's worth. there's
I'm at
that.
13.
So there you go. On my secondary prediction, that one was at, I want to say, 19.
Nice.
Out of no, wait, that was the first one. No, 14. I'm sorry. So 14 for the secondary. Who cares? Joe didn't even bother to bring his predictions.
Yeah, bitch.
Sorry, guys.
Go back to
I'm sorry, Joe.
To last Thursday. This was night 2 of the G1 Climax. So this was for, of course, the B block. I got to get up my my New Japan sounders here. That's what we need to do. We got to get this up right here. There it is. For the B block.
B block.
The undercard, like I said, this match was one of the rare ones I actually watched the undercard on, but there's not much to talk about as there is on many of these undercards. But as far as the B block matches go, Satoshi Kojima versus Juice Robinson. A good match, basic back and forth, 2.5-star match. Juice gets the win with Pulp Friction. Then Tama Tonga versus Michael Elgin. Another 2-star match here. Nothing big. Pretty much a skippable match. Tama Tonga does get a surprise win here. Tonga counters the top rope Death Valley driver into the stun gun. It was kind of a clunky finish. On the second time I watched the finish, it was a little clearer that Tama Tonga hit the big stun gun off the top rope, but that's our first big upset of the tournament. Tama Tonga getting a big win over Michael Elgin. Then Evil versus Sonata. This is an important matchup here because Los Ingobernables versus Los Ingobernables. I thought this was good. 3.25 stars. Sonata did get the win with the moonsault. Sonata kind of played babyface in this match. He dazzles the crowd and gets one over on Evil early.
He has a whole new look for this G1.
Yeah, he's got a white. He comes out with a white wife beater on. He's got white accents on his trunks or his long tights and the white boots.
White mask now.
Yeah, the new mask that he comes out with. He doesn't wrestle with it, but he just comes out with the entrance. Evil gets an early cheap shot. He gets the chairs involved, does the thing where he puts the chair over Sonata's head and then swings another chair like a baseball bat, hitting the other chair. Flashy moves from Sonata. Hits the big leaping stunner from the top rope to the floor. Evil is seated. Good near falls. Darkness falls, a TKO for near falls. Sonata escapes the Banshee muzzle. That's Evil's submission hold, but it was Sonata getting the win with the moonsault. Then Kazuchika Okada taking on Toru Yano. Again, another interesting matchup here because Yano famous for upsets, but both of these guys members of the Chaos faction. So there's other members of Chaos at ringside kind of helping out and assisting or preventing people from going too crazy on each other. Yano posts Okada, goes for the turnbuckle pad. Okada makes a comeback, reties the turnbuckle pad. Yano throws Okada into the ref. Now the turnbuckle pad comes off. They do those spots, get some near falls. Jado at one point stops Okada from hitting his big high cross over the barricade. Then Yano low blows both Jado, who just helped him, and Okada. Gedo gets involved. He gets a low blow. Then there's a near count out, but then it was Okada with the Rainmaker. And it was the red ink submission over Toru Yano. And then after the match, they do the Rainmaker pose next to him. Yep. Yano does the shrugging pose. So all is right in the world of Chaos after the match.
I just love that he gets to be in the G1 Climax just to be this guy, the goof fucking ball. Like, it's so insane.
It is. It really is. Then the big main event from this show, Kenny Omega versus Minoru Suzuki. For me, I gave this one 4 1/4. Very good match. You could argue 5, definitely. Very good. Kenny Omega looks intimidated by Suzuki, but fires the first shot in the match. Suzuki goes after the leg. He's got it tied up in the guardrail. He's using a chair in the crowd. Kenny Omega does his "you can't escape" move, but then can't hit the moonsault. He has to do a one-legged moonsault because he's been working on his leg. Suzuki pulls the ref into one of the V-triggers. Then Suzuki Gun comes out and all the bullshit starts. But then the Bullet Club come out and take out Suzuki Gun. But the Bullet Club are ultimate baby faces. They clear the Suzuki Gun guys out of there. Never do the Bullet Club guys interfere and actually hit Suzuki. So they leave a clean slate for Omega to go back and take on Suzuki. Suzuki counters one of the top rope V-triggers and goes back to work on the leg. Omega spits in the face, then there's a crazy strike exchange. A V-trigger, again, a Snapdragon for a near-fall Snapdragon suplex. Suzuki counters a one-winged angel into a knee bar, but it was Kenny Omega getting the win with the one-winged angel after 2 more V-trigger knees. Nice. So I called this a statement win because this was one of those potential big upsets. Will Suzuki, the current never openweight champion, beat the brand new United States champion Kenny Omega? And it wasn't that way. It was Omega winning, and it was it was a hard-fought battle, but the last moments of the match, it was Kenny making that statement that, no, motherfucker, I'm here, I'm a winner, and I'm a champion. And so that was a big and a huge win because there's not a lot of potential upsets here in this B block, and I'll kind of go over the standings after we go over everything.
Yeah, all my upsets of my bracket are kind of over, so I'm like, damn.
So yeah, there's not a lot of potential for more upsets once we get to where we are standing wise now in the tournament.
Well, and this match is the proof of exactly what I wanted. We've got technically, multiple different groups, but 3 technically heel groups in Suzuki Gun, Bullet Club, and Los Ingobernables. But you've got 3 of these factions, and they're going to fight each other. You're going to run into the bullshit. Bullet Club is not just going to let Suzuki Gun just run rampant on their champion, their leader.
Right. Los Ingobernables de
We can even
Japan.
You can even go back to the Sonata and Evil match, too. They show each other the signs of respect, and then they beat the living piss out of each other.
Yep, exactly.
Signs of respect. Game's over. Go back.
They do the fist bump afterwards and all that. I forgot to mention that, of course. But let's move on to Friday night. This is the July 22nd.
Friday.
This is back to the A block. Hirooki Goto versus Yuji Nagata. Loved this match. 3.5 stars. I shouldn't say loved, but I rather enjoyed the match. I like Nagata. What's going on with Nagata? He's not winning a lot of matches. He hasn't won at all, as a matter of fact. But it's the same thing that happened with Jushin Thunder Liger earlier this year with the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. He's putting on really great matches, very competitive matches, and looking very good and credible in the matches. So that's what's important here. Him having a great standout match with the former never openweight champion Hirooki Goto.
Isn't it Yugi?
It could be.
Nagata?
Let's go to Russo for the correct pronunciation.
Yuji Nagata.
So Goto taunts Nagata with slaps to the top of his head. Nagata makes a big comeback with hard kicks, slaps, and forearms. Great near falls for Nagata. Felt like one more move would do it. That's how good this match. Like, he hit so many near falls. It was just like, come on, you need one more. And he kept going for one more, and Goto kept countering. And he never hit. He just needed one more fucking move, and he couldn't hit it. Goto wins.
One more match.
Goto wins with the GTR after Nagata escapes the sleeper hold. But yeah, I really liked that matchup. Then it was Togi Makabe versus Tomohiro Ishii. These two have had some crazy, great battles. This one is another 3.5 stars in my opinion. This is when hosses collide.
When two girls go at it.
Yeah, a great dramatic match with a very simple offense. Makabe misses a big King Kong knee after hitting the seated top rope belly to belly, but it was Ishii getting the win with the brainbuster after two hard, I can't read, lariats, I'm sorry. Two very hard lariats, so Ishii getting a big win there. Then Kota Ibushi versus Zack Sabre Jr. Twitter was really lit up about this match. A lot of people said a lot of really good things about this match. To me, this was just under 4 stars for me. And Taco, I kind of want to hear what you thought about this match too, because I like the match. Let me kind of go through it here. Zack Sabre Jr., he works on the back and the upper neck of Kota Ibushi. Ibushi counters with his strikes and his power. He does this cool double stomp out of a sunset attempt. There's a seated kick battle where they're both sitting down and kicking each other, and they work up to their feet into standing forearms back and forth. Every time Kota gains some momentum, he leaves his feet, and Zack Sabre Jr. counters with some kind of submission. This really felt like a showcase for Zack Sabre Jr. here. Again, this was the matchup we all wanted to see for the finals in the Cruiserweight Classic last year. So to me, I thought it could have been better, but it was the first big match between these two, early round of the G1 Climax. I thought it was good, just under 4 stars. But Taka, what were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Like, fucking definitely a fun match. As like you even tweeted out, this is the match we want to see on the CWC.
Yep.
But yeah, it was a good showcase of each other. I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see with something actually on the line. Hopefully one of them can get a championship in their grasp. And, I want to see these two go at it with, the G1's on the line, but it's just one match out of how many.
They're both young and should be around for quite a while, so yeah.
But they got a lot to come on this one here.
Definitely. Bad Luck Fale got beat by Hiroshi Tanahashi. Bad Luck Fale has upset Tanahashi several times in the past. So it was Tanahashi getting the win with a countout, a very rare countout win after a sling blade on the apron after a high fly flow to the floor. 2 3/4 stars, pretty much a skippable match. But if you like Fale in the big spots, it's all right. Tetsuya Naito versus Yoshihashi in the main event. I really didn't think this was a main event worthy match on paper. It was better in the ring, but I think it's for me, just me not being a huge Yoshihashi guy. But so maybe other people probably liked it more. I only gave it 3 stars. Naito dominates, works the upper back and the neck of Yoshihashi. Hashi counters Destino with a face-first slam. He wins a strike exchange, then hits an awkward move as he goes for his butterfly submission. Hits a swanton for a near fall. They do a long butterfly hold for a long time. They finally get a rope break. Hits his headhunter clothesline for a near fall. Naito did a really good job selling all of Yoshihashi's offense. But it was Naito getting the win with Destino after the reverse DDT counter and a near fall. So it was Naito getting the big win there. So I don't know. What are your thoughts? How do you feel about Yoshihashi, Taco?
Doesn't really stick out too much.
He's got fabulous hair.
He's got fabulous fucking hair. Yes, he does. But yeah, he's a good threat. He has a history, so
yeah, and yeah, he gets wins here and there. And
I'm not too mad at him. Main eventing a G1. I mean, Christ, we're at fucking 3 pages worth of fights.
Exactly.
Enough to keep you busy.
Let's get back to the B block now.
B block.
This is the Saturday show from the 22nd.
This night was my best scoring so far.
Toru Yano versus Satoshi Kojima. Yano wins with the low blow, 1 star. Both of these guys had 0 points going into this match, so Yano getting an important win for him with the upset. Then it was Juice Robinson versus Evil. Juice is selling his neck. He tries to have a fast start, but Evil hits a drop toe hold with his neck into the guardrail outside. Juice hits a big Kokeshi headbutt off the top rope, which isn't smart if you're working on a neck injury there. But it was still cool to see him bust out Honma's move, the Kokeshi, for a big near fall there. Hits a big lariat and a power bomb for a near fall. Great back and forth. They do a really good ending sequence where they're countering. Juice is going for the pulp friction and whatnot. But it was Evil getting the win with Everything is Evil, or otherwise known as the STO. 2 stars, not a big deal. Skippable match, but fun stuff if you're into Juice.
He's been pretty looking solid so far.
Yeah.
I mean, he has nothing special, but...
Yeah. Then Sonata took on Minoru Suzuki. I was really into this match. Like I'm really into how Sonata progresses in this tournament. So I was invested here. Sonata again tries a fast start, but Suzuki is too strong. They brawl into the crowd, which is a Suzuki staple. Suzuki uses a chair. El Desperado's using the chair behind the ref. So your typical Suzuki gun shit here. Sonata goes after Suzuki's leg, does the Paradise Lock. Goes for an armbar, but it was Suzuki getting the win with the Gotch pile driver, again, after a very nice exchange there in the finish.
I'm so glad he's getting these Paradise Locks in on some of these guys, though.
Yeah, it's cool seeing him get it on the main event stars, which is, it's kind of cool.
I wish he would get his Megusta in on some of these, but I'll take the drop kick to the ass.
The drop kick to the ass is what makes it so Megusta.
Right?
So, and I also like him. I want to talk more about Sonata in this other match, the big main event that he had later on.
Yeah.
But I like that he's in there with main eventers. He's developing his main event style, which is very important. And so I like that. I'm seeing him develop before my eyes, and that really stands out in the match with Okada.
But because of the info you've given on the podcast and history, I had Sonata going. I've got him getting 12 points. Like just getting a good run.
You're sipping my Kool-Aid.
Yes, I am,
because I'm so high on Sonata.
And so I followed that a little bit.
Where do you find the Sonata at? Hook a guy up.
Then Kenny Omega versus Tama Tonga. These two told a nice little story over the last couple of days. I didn't mention the undercard match from the night before, the tag match, Bullet Club versus Bullet Club, and so that was kind of where this dissension started. Tama Tonga is talking all this shit, saying Omega's not a good leader. He's all about himself. He does the same thing in this match, the singles match. Tama Tonga attacks Omega before the bell. They're teasing all sorts of dissension between the Bullet Club and the Elite. Fucking Tonga grabs a mic during the match, and he's cutting a promo saying he's a shitty leader. He goes after the knee.
I think there's even a video out there of Omega just saying, "It's about me. It's all about me. Me."
Counters the one-winged angel into the Tongan twist. But it was Kenny Omega getting the win with one-winged angel. A 3-star match, worth a watch. A decent, good match. After Too Sweet and Respect from Tama Tonga. So all things in the world are seeming to be okay with the Bullet Club after the match. Then big main event from Saturday, Michael Elgin versus Kazuchika Okada. Loved this match. I rewatched it today because, again, I worked 13 hours, 12 hours over the weekend, and I was falling asleep during this match, which I guess kind of says something about the match, but kind of the early mid part of the match was just kind of there for me. But I did think that it was a very good match. It ended up being very good and worth a 4-star rating, in my opinion. Elgin showcases his power early, brings the fight to Okada. Okada goes for the big high cross over the barricade. Elgin catches him and slams him twice on the floor and once on the apron. Elgin hits 2 big German suplexes, then hits a tiger suplex. Okada dropkicks Elgin off the top rope. Elgin catches Okada in the sit-out powerbomb. That's right. Okada comes off the top rope to go for a dropkick or something, and Elgin just fucking catches him in the sit-out powerbomb.
Yeah.
It was devastating looking. And gets a near fall with an Elgin bomb. Then you had a big standing top rope, tippy top rope superplex for a near fall. But it was Okada getting the win with the Tombstone and the Rainmaker. But yeah, Okada fucking turning in 4, 5, 6, 7-star matches all over the place. So, but a very good match there from Saturday. Now from Sunday the 23rd, back to the A. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Yoshihashi, a 1-star classic. Zack Sabre gets the win with a very deep octopus after countering Yoshihashi's
deep octopus
karma move. Yes. Then Yuji Nagata took on Hiroshi Tanahashi. One of my favorite Nagata matches of the tournament. And again, Nagata's putting on awesome matches. Tanahashi's working the leg. He does the air guitar thing, and the crowd says, boo.
Yeah, they were not. They were so Nagata on this match.
Yeah, the crowd was just on Nagata's side. They wanted to see Nagata get a win. Tanahashi slaps Nagata after kicks. Nagata goes fucking crazy with kicks, slaps Tanahashi back. They get into a big slap fight. It's just insane.
Old-fashioned slap.
Oh, I thought you were going to play a sound clip of them slapping each other. I was like,
What the hell
yeah.
are we? That's open hand slap, huh?
No, that would have been better probably. Nagata,
I'll give you an old-fashioned right now.
Nagata gets that big arm lock on the bad arm and rolls his eyes back into his head to get the standing top rope exploder. Yes, a standing on the top rope exploder. Nagata hits that one, gets a near fall. Big brainbuster for a near fall. Then a late slap fight breaks out. Tanahashi busts Nagata's face open with a slap. He slaps him in the face so hard that his fucking cheek is bleeding. That happened in a wrestling match. Knocks Nagata down. Tanahashi gets the win with 2 high fly flows, 1 high cross, 1 the big frog splash, 3.5 stars. Very good match. Enjoyed it very much. Tetsuya Naito versus Bad Luck Fale. Fale getting a bit of an upset win here with the huge Bad Luck Fall here.
Naito trying to get some revenge for his boy.
Yeah, Naito counters the grenade into a DDT, but the Destino got countered into with a grenade, hits the Bad Luck Fall, gets the win. Kota Ibushi versus Tomohiro Ishii. Back up to 4 stars. 2 4-star matches on it. Well, I guess, no, that one was 3.5. Just under 4 stars with Nagata and Tanahashi. But Kota Ibushi, versus Tomohiro Ishii. A very nice opening exchange. Hard chops from both. Kota takes Ishii down with hard strikes. Fighting spirit comes back. Ishii comes back with chops to Kota's throat. Another slap fight. But then Kota Ibushi starts busting out Shote palm strikes. Crazy back and forth. Ishii hits a top rope superplex after a leaping headbutt. Another really great back and forth finishing sequence here. It's amazing how they just these back and forth sequences getting into the finishes.
Ishii's a fucking monster, man.
Yeah, but it was Kota Ibushi getting the win with the last ride sit out powerbomb
on Ishii.
Yeah,
damn.
really, and a last ride sit out was just fucking crazy.
Fuck.
So yeah. Then main event, Hirooki Goto, former never openweight champion versus Togi Makabe. And here's another upset. Makabe getting the win with the sitting top rope German into the King Kong knee drop. Not much of a match, but decent enough if you're into either of those guys. But yeah, Makabe getting an upset win there.
We gotta rewind back tonight for a second. We lost someone special that night.
Yes, because I didn't watch the undercard matches. It wasn't in my notes. But yes, go ahead, Taco.
God, I don't know everyone who was in the tag match, but fucking Bad Luck Fale pretty much was on top of Naito out in the crowd, and he had Daryl in his hands, and rest in peace.
R.I.P. Daryl the stuffed cat.
Right in half, went everywhere.
Hiromu Takahashi's stuffed cat is gone.
I haven't seen the internet cry that hard since Harambe.
He, the following night or the next time that he comes out for a tag match, it was Hiromu and Naito. He's holding an invisible cat this time. Naito gives the invisible cat the invisible fist bump for Los Ingobernables. So very touching stuff.
He even fist bumped Daryl's cousin out in the crowd too. So, a lot of people off there are touched, but everyone's getting through it together. All right. Well, finally, let's get through this last show from Monday, and then we'll preview the shows coming up this week. Now we are back to the B block. Satoshi Kojima versus Michael Elgin. This one was pretty good. 3 stars. Again, Kojima has been having some good matches here, too. Elgin gets the win with the Sunset Bomb after the spinning sit-out power bomb. Kojima does those shotgun chops in the corner. He does that spot, and then throws a guy across the ring, hits the big forearm, does the snapmare, and then the crowd does the chant or whatever. At one point, Elgin does that spot, hits the shotgun chops, throws him across the ring, hits the forearm, and then instead of the crowd chanting, he just gives the crowd the flip off. What is that? Is that called the flip off? What is it? Describe this thing where. fucking like uppercut with your hand fucking going up, like you fucking cunt, like fuck you,
like the President Scrooge salute but without the salute from Spaceballs or whatever.
Ooh, it's step one to the Cobra for Santino.
Yes, exactly.
You can't make references like that, man. You're dating yourself.
Well, so I jack off every day. How'd you know?
Very fun thing there.
Fact.
Then Evil versus Tama. I did say Michael Elgin won that one. Yes,
he did.
Evil versus Tama Tonga. Evil wins at the STO 2-star match. The Everything is Evil getting the win there. But again, a good back and forth finishing sequence in this match where Tama Tonga's going for the stun gun, Evil going for the STO.
I just straight up like the beginning of this match. Just some of these guys ended up going to do some shit outside, and both of them just looked at each other and just screamed, "Fuck it, you want to go outside?" And just Evil, and just his broken English, it's like, "Let's take this outside." Like, so it was awesome. They were just both like, "Let's go beat the shit out of each other," and they fucking tore it up out there for a minute. So hell yeah,
good stuff. Juice Robinson versus Minoru Suzuki. Oof. I'm very interested in the Juice story here throughout the tournament, much like the Sonata story. I want to see how he progresses, how he does. This is Juice's first G1 Climax.
I felt bad for him coming out in this match.
It was so he's selling the leg from previous matches. He comes out with the leg taped up. He's selling it. He looks scared, but there was a nice chop exchange. Juice punches. Juice does his juice punches where he punches a guy. The crowd chants "Juice" as he punches. Hits a spine buster, a cannonball, more slaps. Juice kicks out of Juice hits a KO punch, and then Suzuki hits a KO punch, but then it is the sleeper and the Gotch pile driver, and Minoru Suzuki getting the win there. Toru Yano versus Kenny Omega.
5 stars.
I can't go that high, but I will give it 3 1/4.
Yeah, I wasn't in the Tokyo Dome, Joe.
It's very much now it's a comedy match, obviously.
Absolutely.
But it's so unique in New Japan, and it's so fucking fun. So Yano offers Kenny Omega a gift. He wants to give him one of the Chaos.
He doesn't want the gift.
It's the Chaos DVD. Yano produced it himself. It's what he does.
But he doesn't want it.
He doesn't want it. He threatens to throw it to the crowd. Yano's like, no, it's a gift. You must open it. Open the gift. Open the gift. He chants present. Present. He finally gets Omega to open it.
It's Whitney Houston's Coke stash.
It's full of powder. Yano flips the thing into his face. Now he's fucking blind. Omega is blind. He can't see. Yano is smart. He shoves the referee towards Omega. Omega picks the referee up like he's going to give him the fucking one-winged angel, but then Yano hits him in the nuts, goes for the win. He kicks out. He kicks out of Yano's finisher, the low blow. Amazing. He kicks out of that. So now Yano's going for the turnbuckles and all that.
Not just one turnbuckle.
He takes off all 4 turnbuckles.
He's going directly right past Red Shoes, like, hey bud, high five. Like you keep distracted with Omega. I'm going right behind you.
Well, Red Shoes was helping Omega with the bottle of water, clearing the powder from his eyes, getting the Whitney Houston, and so now he can see clearly again. Once he can see, he's like, oh shit, all of the turnbuckle pads are gone. We had a nice exchange of like, who's going to get thrown into the turnbuckle pad? Oh my god, this is insane. Then we had the back and forth hair pulling spots. They're going back and forth, pulling each other's hair,
telling each other to pull each other's hair.
Well, it's like the chop exchange, or like the strong style, the fighting spirit. The forearms to the face, the slaps or whatever. They go back and forth. The crowd is chanting along. Finally, they're just grabbing at each other's. They're both grabbing each other's hair. Red Shoes has had enough. He leaps up to the second rope. Double axe handles both of them, and they're both double down selling the hair. Red Shoes has had enough. Love that spot from Red Shoes taking those down.
Red Shoes has been so fucking great lately.
Yeah. In those Bullet Club matches.
Bullet Club matches, fucking dealing with Naito, and just little things. Red shoe, keep it up, man.
Then we had the spot where Yano, he's got Omega outside the ring. He goes to throw him in, but then at the last second grabs his legs, grabs a roll of tape, and tapes his legs together. Then he goes to throw him back in. Kenny stops himself, then grabs Yano, goes to throw Yano in, does the same thing, tapes up Yano's legs. Now we got two guys with their legs taped up. They're pogo sticking around in the ring, but we got an actual wrestling spot. A fucking headlock, a drop down, a double stomp. Pretty much all
I
you can do.
could think about this whole spot was that System of a Down song, Bounce, where they're like, bounce, up, down, pogo, 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 pogo.
So Chase Owens comes out. He's got a pair of scissors, thank God. He throws them into Kenny Omega. He cuts the tape off of his legs, and that leads to him hitting a couple of V-triggers, knocks him out of the ring for the second G1 Climax count-out victory. So Omega getting 2 points with a count-out victory in a very fun match. Worth a watch.
I like that Yano can say that Omega never pinned him.
There is that. He did kick out of his finisher, though, the low blow.
Yep.
And then slowly rolled away.
Right. He was still back. Nobody freed Yano. He had to hop and roll all the way to the back after the match. That was hilarious. Okay, so main event from Monday's show from the 25th, Kazuchika Okada, current champion, taking on one of my favorite upstarts, member of Los Ingobernables, Sonata. Another 4-star match. Okada knocking him out of the park. Again, they're going for the signature moves early in the match, but everybody's well scouted on each other. Like Sonata likes to do the double leapfrog into a drop kick, but fucking
Suzuki.
Okada is familiar.
Clinton Dix.
Okada is familiar enough with his offense so they can avoid it. So they tease those big moves for later in the match. So I really enjoy that aspect of it. Sonata plays possum with he does another big leapfrog, but then plays possum like his leg is hurt. Red Shoes is showing concern. Okada's backing off. Of course he's fine. He attacks Okada. Sonata back to being full heel in this match. He's poking the eyes, raking the eyes, doing all sorts of dastardly stuff. Okada hits his big crossbody over the railing on the floor, then sells his knee. He goes for the Paradise Lock early, but then hits it later. Does the big Ric Flair roll in the corner to do into the springboard drop kick. Hits a big moonsault into the skull end. He doesn't hit like a moonsault in a traditional way. Like Okada is standing, he does a backflip off the top and like grabs fucking Okada into the Dragon Sleeper, aka the skull end, which was just really cool. They do the skull end on the turnbuckle. Okada counters with a tombstone. Just insane back and forth. It was Okada getting the win with the Rainmaker after two other Rainmaker short arm styles. Again, the wrist control in there. That he's been doing that in all of these big matches.
I really like that. It took fucking three Rainmakers on Sonata, though. It made him look like a real threat, and he fucking really went at it against Okada.
I have a theory. We've been calling the short arms Rainmakers, where the Rainmaker is the spin and the short arm. So he can hit short arms all day, and which are very similar to the Rainmaker because the Rainmaker is the short arm with a twist.
Or you could do something fun.
All right, let's talk the standings, where we're at right now. Let's go with the A block first. Right now, we got a lot of guys tied with 4 points. Tanahashi's got 4. Goto's got 4. Bad Luck Fale got a couple of wins, 4 points. Naito's got 4 points. Zack Sabre Jr.'s got 4, and Kota Ibushi. So on the bottom, Yoshihashi, Ishii, and Makabe with 1 win apiece. So everybody's had 3 matches at this point. So we still got a lot of tournament left for the A block. As far as the B block goes,
B block.
A little more interesting here. At the top, 2 undefeateds, Okada and Kenny Omega, which looks really good for my prediction bracket, by the way, because I've got both of those guys going damn near undefeated. So But coming up with 4 points, Evil and Suzuki. Those guys got 2 wins. But interesting here, because I have a lot of people predicting Suzuki to be a kind of a dark horse to win the B block. But with Omega already having that statement win over Suzuki, going to be kind of hard for Suzuki to get into the finals. The only other big, we got a big Elgin could possibly spoil or get a win over Omega, but he's already lost to Okada. So there's that, but not a lot of other guys. Sonata could certainly cause an upset here or there, but yeah, probably not Evil, probably not Kojima, probably not Juice Robinson, probably not. I mean, you never know Toru Yano, but Okada already beat Toru Yano, so and so did Omega. So the guys that he's going to upset are going to be non-players as well. Suzuki will probably beat Yano, but who knows. So, some interesting stories going forward to see who comes out of the A and B block. Let's take a look at the next week or so of matches. Not everything, but we'll just go over some highlights of the next few days. So coming up, by the time you hear this, you'll be able to watch this stuff on Wednesday night or live Wednesday early morning if you're into that sort of thing. I know, Taco, you've been watching some of these live because of your early morning commute.
I'm fucking getting lucky. Like right when I get up at butt crack in the morning, fucking G1 starting, they skip all the tag matches by the time. I mean, some days I might get the end of the tag matches and start off, or I might miss a match of the G1. But yeah, dude, I'm seeing this shit live, and it's fucking awesome.
That's really cool.
Kind of getting to interact a little bit on Twitter with some of the people out there is fun too.
That's a lot of fun.
Thanks for interacting out there, some of y'all.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so Wednesday morning or night, depending on when you watch it, a couple of matches to look out for this one. Yuji Nagata versus Tetsuya Naito should be very good, and Hiroshi Tanahashi taking on Hirooki Goto. For Thursday, back to the B block, just one to look for here. Of course, all of these are important points-wise, but these are some matches that I kind of highlighted throughout the tournament. Michael Elgin versus Kenny Omega. Of course, a lot of story between these two going back and forth. Elgin winning the ladder match last year, getting to win the Intercontinental title. So a nice little history, and of course, the U.S. title tournament comes into play between these two. So good stuff there. Jumping ahead, we get.
I'm just going to point out just the match above that one.
Go ahead.
Evil versus Suzuki again.
Yeah.
Evil's a dick in the ring. He uses the chairs all the time, and he got Suzuki with his fucking whiskey bottle. I'm just interested to see what those two are going to fucking do to each
Suzuki
other.
Brawls into the crowd and uses chairs himself, so that's going to be one of those heel-on-heel bullshit fests, I'm sure.
See, and that's why I like the heel-on-heel shit. It's just like, who's the fucking dirtiest player?
On Saturday, we're back to the A block. Couple of matches to look forward there. Hirooki Goto versus Zack Sabre should be good, and Tomohiro Ishii versus Tetsuya Naito.
Yeah.
Really cool matchup there. Sunday, Elgin versus Sonata. Looking forward to that. And Juice versus Okada. That should be a fun one. Fucking with the great matches that Okada has been having, I'm very curious to see what Juice looks like in a one-on-one match with Okada.
I think that Suzuki and Tomatonga match will be fucking hard hitting too.
Definitely.
I mean,
definitely.
Tomatonga's been going in there with a fucking hard attitude, and he needs to.
Yeah, definitely. He's losing his matches for the most part, but he has such a different style, and that's an interesting matchup too.
I like that he was kind of showing some back talk a little bit to the Bullet Club, the leader a little bit, kind of calling him out a little bit because. He's one of the longest guys.
Right, he's been in New Japan for 7 years.
Yeah, so
yeah, that's a good point.
And he's not really sticking out like the rest of them, it seems like. So, I kind of like to see that hostility on his end a little bit. It's like, we've defended you this far, come not defending us.
And it ties into the story that they're telling in the Bullet Club now between the Elite and the rest of the Bullet Club. Where does Cody Rhodes fit into that whole story? So, yeah, there's a lot of cool storylines going on there. Where is I here? Tuesday. So after Sunday, they get a couple of days off. We'll jump ahead to Tuesday. Hirooki Goto versus Tetsuya Naito. And then in the main event, Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Kota Ibushi. That should be very, very good.
Fucking Nagata and Ishii.
Yeah, Nagata and Ishii is going to... I mean, all these matches really are very... I mean,
Goto versus Naito, too. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah. And Makabe versus Zack Sabre. All these are great matches. Finally, Wednesday next week, this probably won't happen before we podcast, but Juice Robinson versus Sonata. That's an interesting matchup there. But yeah. So, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more big shows before next week's podcast. So
if you're keeping count.
If you're keeping count. So, but yeah, lots of fun stuff to look forward to. And yeah, I want to make a note here before we get out of here. Not next week, but 2 weeks. I got some family stuff going on. Joe's going to a cat video festival of all things.
Yeah, cat video festival.
But mostly because
where my pussy's at.
It's called the Shaved Pussy Fest.
Mostly because I've got some family in town. So in 2 weeks, though, I'm not sure when we're going to record the podcast, but it's going to be an awkward schedule in 2 weeks. We're going to aim to record on Thursday, so it should be available by Friday next week. But stay tuned to your to bestprowrestlingpodcast.com.
Yeah, just in time for you to grab a Sixter, fucking whip it out, and listen to us.
Exactly, and we'll be in the final stages of the G1 Climax at that point. So we'll be building. That'll be just before like the last 3 days of the tournament. Because
that might be fucking SummerSlam predictions.
Yeah, that'll be in there too. Because
damn,
SummerSlam is on the 20th, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So, but that's all right. I mean, the climax ends on the 13th. Mm-hmm. So it's right in there. So there's plenty to talk about over the next couple of weeks, and just tons and tons.
So much to talk about.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so that was your strong. Oh, you know what? Hang on. Before I play the music, before we play, we're doing a double. We're doing a double episode this week. So, in honor of Strong Honor, I think we got to do the Kojima tweet, right?
Oh, we cannot forget that.
Yes, sir.
The Satoshi Kojima Tweet of the Week.
He hasn't tweeted much in English this week. You can follow Kojima on Twitter at cozy_lariat. And I might have even read this one last, but I don't think so because of the date. But
was it the dual one?
No. It's just a thing. And he hasn't tweeted much in English in the last week. But here's the one I found from a few days ago. Good morning. G1 Climax has started. My body hurts, but it's fun. I will live. #Bread Club. Now we can play the music. All right. But stay tuned to this show on bestprowrestlingpodcast.com. We're going to be either reporting on New Japan and Ring of Honor on this show, or we're going to continue Strong Honor. Either way, it's going to be on bestprowrestlingpodcast.com or on the Best Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Let us know how you feel.
So yeah, if you want to keep Strong Honor as its own show, let me know on Twitter at Tommy Stryker, Stryker with a Y, at BPW Podcast. Go on to Facebook if you don't have Twitter, Facebook.com/Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. If you don't have either of those, everybody has email. Let me know your opinion. bestprowrestlingpodcast@gmail.com.
Tout us.
Don't tout us. Even though Daniel Bryan and Renee Young teased doing Talking Smack Rogue Edition on Tout, that means I gotta download Tout again to see if it's true. But anyway, don't tout us. But please check in at all of those other places and let us know if you want to keep Strong Honor going, or if we should just do one podcast that is all #the best.
The best.
Taco,
the best.
Where can people find you?
You can follow me on you can follow me on the Snapchat, Twitter, at HGREV Taco.
And you can follow me at Twitter at JoeBPWP. That's at Joe Breast Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Ooh, that was really good, Joe. That's going to be it. That was the best wrestling in the world for this week. Tune in next week for more of #the best on the Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. Bye.
Peace.
Haha, Clinton Dix.
I'm not finished with you!
What I said was, stop talking.
Shut up!
Yeah, man.
What? No, yes.
That's tremendous analysis. Great analysis.
What the hell's wrong with you? That's open hand slap, huh?
Old-fashioned slap right to the face.
Well, remember that drink, Balls?
Oh, dude, that drink was terrible.
Yeah. BAWS. Balls. Balls. Like a bowels.
Like a balls. Gonna snatch you balls.